How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Rogue Meta here, and I'm back with a Subterror deck profile video for you guys. And as you can see, I did make some changes to it. It is still going to be a trap heavy deck, but as you can see, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon in the extra deck. That's going to be fun to figure out. Let's see how it works. And it goes without saying, you are going to need 3 Subterror Guru. This is the life of the deck right here. Here's your Searcher, here's Interrupter. He just works way too well. The most important card in any Subterror deck right there. And that's 3 Guru. And because you're running the 3 Guru, one of his most important searches is right here. 3 Fiendus. This is your Omni Negate. What it does is that if your opponent activates anything, and I mean anything, you discard this the Fiendus, flip down whatever Subterror monster you have on the field. Most likely it's going to be Guru itself, which he wants to be flipped down, by the way, and negate the effect. That's a great way to devastate your opponent whenever he really needs to. I'm looking at you, Despia Branded. Yep, you negate Branded Fusion, and they're kind of screwed. The last of the Subterror monsters that we use is going to be Nemesis Archer. Now, Nemesis Archer is here because when you control another Subterror monster on the field, what this card does is before damage calculation, you declare an attack and it spins whatever card is flipped face down that your opponent controls. That's a great way. That's a great form of removal. Plus, she's also a floater. When she's destroyed, you can actually special summon whatever Subterror monster in your deck in face down defense position. Most likely that's always going to be Guru, because anything else is, well, either extra or desperate. And some of our hand traps that we play in this one, we really don't care about the graveyard, and everyone else at the moment does. So we're using 3 Shifter. Everyone knows what Shifter does. It's a little mini macrocosmo for about for 2 turns, and it'll disrupt any Snake Eyes play. Screw you, Snake Eyes. Since it's still a trap heavy deck, I use 3 Lord of the Heavenly Prison. This protects all your face down cards, actually all of the face down cards on the field. That includes your opponent's face down cards. So this one is a great answer to something like Unchained, which wants to pop their face down traps or face down spell cards or anything. So anything, this protects all of them. And Subterrors like to go face down, so you know this also protects your Subterror monsters. And because we are playing the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, we're going to use both of the materials for it, Red Eyes and Dark Magician. That's it for the monsters. Let's go on to the spells. We played 3 Hidden City because it's just a faster way of getting to Dragoon. This is a faster way of getting to Subterror Guru. My bad, Subterror Guru. The most important way to search him is this way, unless you lucky enough to draw him. As I was saying, I wouldn't actually use Pot of Extravagance now that I actually do care about my extra deck and what's in there, and this one blindly takes away 6 cards from my extra deck, hurting my chances of Dragoon being banished instead. So at the moment, since this is my best option, I'm going to use it, but I would recommend these being 2 Pot of Prosperities. At least that way you're able to still dig into your decks, to your main deck, and be able to not banish your Dragoon. So yes, I would recommend these instead of being Extravagance, Prosperities. Because we're running the Dragoon, 2 Red Eyes Fusion, that's all you need. It is a very easy card to search out with something as Lord of the Heavenly Prison, being able to set it directly from your deck. 1 Terraforming, because it can be used from Lord of the Heavenly Prison as well. Just another way of getting to your Hidden City. And now for the traps. I use 3 Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. This card allows you to flip all monsters on the field face down, something that Subterrors love to do. They love digging their little holes and staying down there as much as possible and disrupting your opponent as well. If the thing about this card is that if for some reason a monster is not flip face down due to this effect, then the player must send that monster to the graveyard. This is a great way of getting around monsters who are unaffected by effects, because the sending part is because the player sending it, not because of you, and not because of this effect. I also use 2 Final Battle. Now I could bump this up to 3 and probably take out the terraforming or something else, and I wouldn't mind. And I'll explain to you why in a moment. But the thing is, the two most important effects here is the 4th one, which is this turn activated effects of Subterror monsters cannot be negated, which is phenomenal. Say that your Phoenix gets called by the grave, it doesn't matter, she'll still get banished, but her negation effect will still go through in the end because of this effect. Of course, the most important effect is going to be the 3rd one, which is attack and defense of Subterror monsters on the field become equal to its combined original attack and defense until the end of the turn. That's a great way to make your Guru a 34 beater. Because we're running a lot of traps, 2 trap tricks, enough said about that. Set directly, use it the same turn. And because we're not really much of a spam deck when it comes to monsters, we don't really care about not having a lot of monsters on the field. Weighbridge I found very, very useful in the deck. Another way to have your opponent send monsters from the field to the graveyard. This is a great way to get away on monsters who aren't affected by card effects. Just get rid of them all. 1 punishment, because it's great in this deck. You love disrupting. 1 evenly matched. You could bump this up to 2 and take out the punishment if you so like. The reason I would choose to use 3 Final Battle is because of this. 3 skill drain. Now that 4th effect really applies heavily when you're under skill drain, because that means that even if skill drain is on the field, you activate the 4th effect of Final Battle, which is activate effects cannot be negated, which means that your Subterror effects will go through regardless if this is on the field. Great way to turn off your opponent's effect while yours are on. And you gotta have 3 strike, right? This is a great going first, great going second card. You gotta love strike. And that is it for the extra deck. And now that is it for the main deck. Let's go into the extra. That being said, 2 Dark Dragon. The only reason I'm playing 2 is because of that Pot of Extravagance for the time being. I would bump this down to 1, or maybe I'll keep it down to 2, but right now it's because of the danger of it being banished flip face down, so I can get my draw 2. That's the main reason why I have it at 2. 1 Garura, because it's a great target for punishment. Speaking of great punishment targets, 3 Entis. Enough said about that. Pop, pop. 1 set Friend Lord Omega. That way you can recycle anything in your graveyard if I use this as a target for punishment. 1 Wind Pegasus is just a great way to bounce. 1 Underworld Goddess. 1 Bucephalus number 2, and the only reason I use a Bucephalus is to pop monsters who are really, really high in attack with punishment, allowing me to send a Garura and getting a free draw. And these 4 really don't matter. I just haven't figured out anything better to use, but they honestly could be anything you want. And that would be a Crusadia, Avermax, a Unicorn, and Oza, Nightmare Phoenix, and the Lingeribo. These are just cards that have been holding on to my extra deck since way before time. But you can choose whatever you want if you don't like those cards as an option. But that is it for my Subterror deck profile. Let me know what you think in the comments, and can't wait to show you what I have next. All right, bye-bye.